Hey guys, Tony Sutherland here. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the ministry of connection. You know, when I was a young youth pastor in my mid-20s, I was in my office one day busily working, typing up documents, administrating, and just doing a lot of office work. And I actually spent most of my time in those early years in my office. I was always working. Sometimes I would work late into the night. I talk about in one of the chapters of my book that one of the regrets that I have and big leader slips in my life was working too long, working too many hours and avoiding the important people, important things in my life. Well, I was busy in my office working. It was about closing time, and I was just trying to tackle this new mega church that I was in with a large youth group, church of about 6,000 people. I was in a large city at the time, and I was just doing my best to try to hang on for dear life. And I remember the senior student ministries director came into the office and he walked in and he said, "Tony, what are you doing in here? Every time I come in here, every time I walk through here, you're in your office. I never see you out with the kids, out with the young people, ministering, getting connected and meeting the people that you're ministering to. You're in here, then you show up for your youth services, and then you're back in your office all week long." He said, "Let me give you some good advice. You see all these papers and all this stuff that you're doing in here? You just need to take your arm and you need to sweep it off your desk." And he reached out with his arm as if he were going to sweep everything off my desk. And if you know me, I'm a little bit of a tidy freak. And when he did that, I kind of panicked. I was about ready to jump over the desk and tackle him. But I'll never forget that meeting because what he said just pierced my heart. Leader, let me tell you today that connection is the most valuable asset you have. It's a leader's most valuable asset. When you don't connect with your people, you don't find out what makes them tick. And I'm not talking just about the people that you minister to, but the people you minister with, your team, the people that surround you. We need to show people, we need to show our team that they are more valuable than the work we do for them and the work that they do for us. You see, so often we're so busy trying to plan ministry and strategize and administrate that we don't actually minister. We don't make that connection. When you find out more about the people that you're with, when you get to know them, when you get to know their heart, you begin to develop strategies and your vision changes and your ministry becomes much more effective. Jesus spent more time with his disciples, pouring his wisdom, his love, and giving them his presence long before he commissioned them in ministry. They trusted him. They knew that he loved them, and he really did. And a lot of times we don't know how much we even love the people that we're around until we spend time with them. It does something to us. It changes us. It gives us insight. It opens us up to their insight, their input, their wisdom, their abilities, their gifts. If you're not connecting with your people, if you're spending more time administrating than you are administering God's love to your team and to the people around you, you're going to start finding yourself falling very, very short. You'll get burned out. You'll get frustrated. You'll be more agitated and irritated because your PDFs are greater than your people. Let me just give you a formula for really effective leadership. People are greater than PDFs. People are greater than paperwork. Let me give you 3 questions you need to ask yourself as a leader. I have to ask myself this too because I like to get bogged down behind the laptop. See, from time to time, we need to shut down the laptop, walk out of our office, and walk into the hearts and the lives of the people that we minister to. So let me give you 3 questions you need to ask yourself. Number 1, do your procedures tire or inspire? Do the things that you perpetuate and plan and strategize in your administration, your procedures, do they tire people out or do they inspire people forward? Do they lift them up? You need to ask yourself the second question. Do our policies, do we seek to impress or do they actually oppress? The question is, do our policies impress people? It can look good on paper. And let me just give you this thought. People aren't as concerned as much about how things look or feel as much as they do as much as they want to believe that we value them. You know, look and feel is important, neatness and tidiness, and I'm all about that. Trust me when I say that. I could spend more time behind my computer than most people, but I have to consciously make a valiant effort to get around the people and spend more time with them than I do in my office, strategizing, making PDFs, and doing the things that really in the long run aren't going to matter as much. You know, people aren't concerned about what you know and what you can do and what you can perform as much as how they feel when they've been around you. How do people feel when they've been around you? When they walk away from you, how did you make them feel? Did they feel that you were separated, that you were too busy for them? I've had those moments when people come into my office and they look in, or they you know, my family comes into my workspace and they know that they're not valued as much as what I'm doing at the moment. We need to discipline ourselves as leaders to learn how to shut down and connect with people in ministry. So number one, do our procedures tire or inspire? Do our policies tend to impress but rather oppress? And then number three, does our protocol tend to bind or unwind our team? Sometimes our protocols and our steps and our attempt at efficiency can actually bind our team rather than unwind our team. And efficiency is not creating better systems. Efficiency is actually removing things in our systems that tend to bog down and clutter. You know, leaders are supposed to clear the path. The Bible says that the shepherd goes before me in the presence of my enemies. And what that means is that the shepherd goes into the grazing space and he rids the land of scorpions or dangerous animals that might harm the sheep and causes them to have safe passage. So efficiency, a leader's efficiency, is actually removing things out of your systems that tend to bog the team down. Whenever you create systems that bog your team down, it's going to bog you down because you have more follow-up and more protocol that you have to get to. So does our protocols, our systems and our strategies and our PDFs and our planning and all the systems that we create, does it tend to bind or unwind our team? Our job as leaders is to unlock potential, unlock the ability in our leaders to perform with greater capacity and speed. Taking the weight off. The Bible says, let's set aside every weight that does so easily hinder us or beset us. So a leader's job is to help remove the weight, remove the policy, remove the procedure, remove the system clog down, because we're not supposed to clog the path or clutter the path. We're supposed to clear the path so that leaders can have greater access and greater speed to accomplish what they're accomplishing. And that takes connection. Connection is a leader's most valuable asset. It's the ministry of connection. Connection is ministry. Connection is locking arms and locking hearts and committing to your team and letting them know that you value them, and that they're important in the process. So I want to encourage you today, get out of your office. Close the laptop down, shut the cell phone down. You know, I know some leaders out there, they're spending more time on Instagram photoing things and posting things, but they won't answer texts. They won't answer phone calls. When someone texts me, I'm having to discipline myself more to return the text immediately. I have a rule, 24 to 48 hours, return call, return email, return text. If I can do it immediately, I don't put it off. I'm not there to create this sense of fake administrative layer and barrier between me and my people so that they'll think that I'm too important to talk to them. We need to stop that, leaders. We need to stop pretending that we're more important than the people that serve us. We need to discipline ourselves to immediately be accessible and available to the people around us so that they'll believe us, trust us, and run with us. The ministry of connection is vital in a leader's life. Hey, leader, keep growing and making connections with your team and with your people.